Preface of Futility, a novel on Russian themes. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Margaret Espaillat. Futility, a novel on Russian themes, by William Gerhardi. Preface. There are few novelists nowadays, I suppose, who will not readily acknowledge that, in certain most intrinsic qualities of the art, the great Russians are what Henry James once called Balzac, the masters of us all. To many readers of the Western world, however, there still is, despite the blinding glare which the Russian disaster has shed on the national character, a recurring sense of bewilderment in trying to trace the motives of the strange, seductive, and incoherent people who live in the pages of Dostoevsky, Tolstoy, and their mighty group. In Balzac, at all times, the Western mind feels at home. Even when the presentment is obviously a caricature, one knows what is being caricatured. But there are moments, to me at least, in the greatest of Russian novels, and just as I feel the directing pressure of the novelist most strongly on my shoulder, when somehow I stumble, the path fades to a trail, the trail to a sand heap, and hopelessly I perceive that the clue is gone, and that I no longer know which way the master is seeking to propel me, because his people are behaving as I never knew people to behave. Oh no, we know they're like that, because he says so, but they're too different, one groans. And then, perhaps for enlightenment, one turns to the Western novelist, French or English or other, the avowed authority, who, especially since the war, has undertaken to translate the Russian soul in terms of our vernacular. Well, I had more than once so turned, and had vainly hunted, through the familiar scenery of vodka, mujik, Akon, Izba, and the rest, for the souls of wooden puppets who seemed to me differentiated only from similar wooden puppets by being called Alexander son of somebody instead of Mr. Jones or Monsieur Dupont. Then I fell upon Futility. Someone said, "It's another new novel about Russia," and every one of my eager feelers curled up in a tight knot of refusal. But I had a railway journey to make, and the book in my bag, and I began it. And I remember nothing of the railway journey, of its dust, discomfort, heat, and length, because on the
Sample complete. Ready to continue?